Hey everybody, my name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. I wanted to thank you for listening to this episode of The Morning Show. I'm the creator, the producer, and the host of the show. We want you to check out our website. It's themorningshowwithnatalie.com. You can go to that website. You can see all about our sponsors, all about the show. You can even listen to live episodes while they're going on right there from the website. Another way to listen to the show live is go to Live 365. You can download that app and just search for The Morning Show. It's right there. Super easy. We want you to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you will. That way you can keep up with what's going on the morning show. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it. My name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons, and you are listening to The Morning Show. We are excited. We've been anticipating a very special guest this morning, and he is here. He is my friend, Mr. Les Butler. Mr. Les, are you there?
I am, Natalie. How are you this morning?
Well, I'm just as great as I can be. I have been so excited about talking to you today and having you on the show. I am a huge Les Butler fan. And I just wanted to say, just to start out this morning, Mr. Butler, you spent 40 years in this industry and in this business, not just building a successful career for yourself, which you have done, but helping so many people, not just by sharing your music, but by sharing the music of so many others. You've helped so many musicians, you've helped so many ministries. And for that, I'm here on behalf of the morning show and on behalf of the world to say thank you to Les Butler.
Well, you're very kind, Natalie. Very, very kind. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody say I'm a huge, huge Les Butler fan. I'm going to have to get my calendar out and put a circle around this date.
Well, I am.
You're very kind, and it's been my pleasure, my honor to be able to serve the Lord in this capacity and to serve others in this capacity for 44 and a half years. And I've been the one that's been blessed. I hope I've blessed others, but I know for a fact that I'm the one that's been blessed. So thank you for your kind words.
Well, you've blessed people for a long time, and people, every time that they mention your name, it's done in a way to highlight you and in a way to tell what you've done for them and what you've done for others. And, I just noticed stuff like that and makes a difference.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that kind of report. I hope I've helped somebody.
Well, I keep up with you. I for sure know who you are and what you've done, but we've got a lot of listeners to the morning show who are new to Southern gospel music. They don't know a lot about the industry. They're just kind of, they like the music and they're just new to what's going on. So for those who don't know, I could never in one interview or in one morning tell everything that Les Butler has done, but here's just a few of the highlights. He's a musician. He is a producer. He is a great manager. He's a former publisher of the Singing News magazine. He has a nationally syndicated show. I think he's also been up, from what I've heard, a TV host as well in the past. He's done so many things we could never name it all. But Mr. Les, we had you on today because there's a song that I play on the morning show an awful lot. And it's become one of my favorite songs. I absolutely love it. I want you to tell us about the song. Tell us where it came from. Tell us what it means to you. It's that great song, We're Out of Here. It's about as Southern gospel as Southern gospel can get. It's just, what do you say, meat and potatoes, the Southern gospel. That's what this is.
Yeah.
I love it. Tell me about the song.
Well, thank you. And the very second I heard it, I loved it too. And that's exactly why I had to record it. I had it sent to me from Daywind Publishing, Rick Shelton, who was a gentleman that actually I hired to work for me at the Singing News many years ago. And Rick said, I know how much of a big Henson fan you are. I've got some Ronnie Henson songs that I think are pretty good that have never been recorded. I'm pitching them to you first. And I was like, get out of here, Rick. Wow. And so he sent me a bunch and I liked a bunch of them. I only recorded this one. I'm kind of thinking about one or two of the others that he sent to maybe record on an upcoming CD. But this one just had to be recorded right out of the gate. I mean, it was, not only was it, like you say, kind of just meat and potatoes Southern gospel, but it was Henson 101. Mm-hmm. I mean, the very second I heard the song, just the demo, it was screaming, oh my goodness, this is something that Kenny, Larry, Ronnie, and Yvonne would have recorded back in the day. Absolutely. This is a real Henson song. And so between just loving the lyric, loving the melody, loving the chord progressions, and loving the fact that this is as Henson as it gets, all of those things combined. And I said, okay, I'm recording it. And so when I went to record it, I wanted to make sure that I recorded it like I believe Kenny and Ronnie would have produced it back in the day. And so I produced it that way. And every time I play it for someone, or someone hears it and they come back to me to talk about the song, that's about the first thing they say is, "Oh my goodness, you captured the Hensons on this thing." And that pleases me well, because that's exactly what I wanted to do. And so, matter of fact, I even had some of the Henson band members from back in the day play on the song. For example, that intro, that steel guitar, is the Henson steel guitar player Scotty Sanders playing it.
Wow.
So I Hensoned it up as much as I could. I sang it as well as I could sing it, and I've surrounded myself with great singers to sing as the quartet. And of course, I was blown away when I went to Ronnie, who is a good friend. I said, "Ronnie, I'm recording one of your songs. I can't believe I got this song. I think it's a hit, and whether it's a hit or not, I mean, it's just the truth, and I love it. I got to get this message out. Would you consider singing it with me?" And he said yes. And so he's featured on the second verse, and that great bass singing on all the rest of the song is Ronnie.
And
so,
it's truly something. That bass singing on that song, it stands out, and you just go, "Oh my goodness!" It's outstanding.
Yeah. Let me tell you, Ronnie Henson is one of the most underrated bass singers in the history of all of Southern gospel music. He's incredible.
Mr. Lester, you think that Kenny just kind of was just such of a star on stage? Do you think that's why Mr. Ronnie just got overlooked a little bit, or not really?
Yeah, I'd have to say that's it has to be that, because I can't come up with any other explanation, because he's just so good. Not only as a bass singer, man, he's a great singer, period.
Yeah.
But as a bass singer, wow.
Well, you're right. And I've heard him sing, solo songs through the years, but you're right. When that song played and I heard that bass, I knew, because I looked it up, and I knew that Mr. Henson was on the song, and I said, that has to be him. And the first thing I thought was, I had no idea that he could sing bass. I really didn't. Blown away.
Yeah.
Well,
me too. So there you are. I recorded it.
You've explained a lot. I'm thrilled we had you on this morning, because when I heard this, it was Eat Up with Henson, and now we understand why, because you masterfully planned it that way. That's why you're Les Butler.
Did.
That's it. And that's why you're on the morning show talking to us about it right now. You just said it all. So look, we've got two good friends here, Les Butler, Ronnie Henson. You pair them up. You just doesn't get any better than that. Let's play. Oh, sorry, that was my dog, Buddy. Let's play it this morning. Here it is, Mr. Les
Even Buddy
Butler.
likes it.
Even Buddy likes it. When you score with Buddy, you're something. Here it is, Les Butler, Ronnie Henson. We're out of here.
We can see it now much clearer than we ever have. Earthquakes, famine, war, this world is going mad. But Matthew 24 declares, when bad gets down to worse, that's when things are looking up for the church. When there's nothing left but leaving, we're out of here. When God's final prophecy has been fulfilled, just lie beneath the sod to sleep alone. But they'll awake on some sweet day where tears won't flood our eyes. With our Lord we'll meet again. The church will rise. When there's nothing left but leaving, we're out of here. When God's final prophecy has been fulfilled. Or when that one last sinner makes the angels cheer. When there's nothing left but leaving, we're out of here. When there's nothing left but leaving, we're out of here. When God's final prophecy has been fulfilled. Or when that one last sinner makes the angels cheer. When there's nothing left but leaving, we're out of here. We're out of here.
Well, there's that song that we had you on this morning. We love it. It's got Brother Henson on there. We're out of here, and we just can't get enough of that song, Mr. Butler. We love it.
Thank you. I've got to admit, I'm very pleased with how it ended up. And I don't go back and listen to my stuff because I don't know many artists who really do. But I got to be honest with you. I go back and listen to that song
You should.
because I like, not only do I like how it sounds, again, it's got that Henson thing all over it, but my goodness, what a message. Boy, Natalie, I believe it. I believe that before we're through with this interview, we may hear a trumpet sound and we are gone. We're out of here.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope we don't even finish it. That would be the best news ever. Well, I know that
Amen.
I don't want to disrespect your time or hold you too long, but there's a couple of other things, if you've got time, that I want our
Yeah.
audience to know. And one of them is about this song right here that we play. Well, we went several weeks and we did play it every morning. The show's only 2 hours long. So to play the same song every day, it's got to be a special song. But this song right here, we played it every single day for the longest time, and we still play it an awful lot. And it's by Chronicle. He has a way of turning the tide. This has been a true favorite of the morning show. I want our listening audience to know that you are connected to this song. Your voice is in the song. Would you tell us this powerful story about your connection with Chronicle and you being a part of this
Yeah.
terrific song?
Yeah, be happy to. I produced the album. It's been, golly, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago now, but I produced it, and we were in the studio doing vocals, and they're a duo, and so I had some people in mind that I was going to have sing the third part. So I was in the studio in their duo, and we had to have a third part, and I had some people in mind to do the third part. But while we were in there, we had some time, and my son, who's an engineer, I told him to just pull up some songs, let me kind of do a scratch third part so I can kind of see how things are sounding and so forth. And so he pulled it up, and sure enough, it was sounding pretty good. And I thought, well, if they're okay with it, I think maybe I'll just be the third part on this song. And by the time it was all said and done, I think I was the third part on just about the whole album. But the key thing about it was I had just spun out of COVID, and I had it bad. I was in the hospital for weeks. I was on oxygen for 5 months. And when I was in the hospital in ICU, I was told by my doctor that I wasn't going to make it out alive. I mean, it was as serious could be.
Yeah.
And so anyway, the Lord showed up and stopped the spread of that COVID in my lungs. And after 5 months, I was off of oxygen, And this was a year and a half ago, and I've got scarred lungs, and I still carry some baggage around because of it, but it's okay. And God's getting me through, and honestly, my life is back to normal, and all is well. And I thank him for it. But while we were in the studio then, I was still on oxygen.
Wow.
And so whenever I told my son to pull up a song, let me just see how the third part's going to sound. And I said, I know it's going to be a slow go because I'm on oxygen, and I still don't have my breath, and I can't breathe all that well on my own. And when I take the oxygen off, my oxygen level goes down. And so I'm on oxygen, and it's the way it is. So I carry my portable oxygen in there with me in the studio, and I shut the door, and we start dialing up sounds, and I start singing, and I get to sing about a line, and then I got to stop.
Wow.
And so he stops, and I put the oxygen back on, and then I get myself situated, and I say, okay, hit it. I take the oxygen off. I sing another line or two, and then I say, I got to stop. And then I put the oxygen back on. And so it was a longer than normal process, but it turned out, I think, pretty good.
Well, I don't think, I know it turned out fantastic.
Yeah, well, thank you. I believe it did. And I know the album turned out great. They're great. Chronicle's fantastic. They're wonderful singers, and they chose great songs. I pitched them a lot. Matter of fact, I pitched them this one. And I thought when I heard it, it was a hit, and I could hear them doing it, and they did, and it was a hit, and is a hit now, and it's wonderful. But I have to admit, I've produced, I don't know, hundreds of albums over 40 years, just many, many, many albums. But this is one I'm never going to forget because, it was special. First off, I didn't think, we tracked the album before I got COVID. And then it was time to do vocals, but I couldn't, I was in the hospital dying, and I couldn't get in there. So they were very kind to just wait and see what the Lord was going to do. And the Lord got me out of there, and we got to set dates, and we got together, and we got to finish the record. And it's something I'll never, ever forget. I'll never forget being in that studio, having portable oxygen on a little stool next to me, on another stool that I had to sit on because I couldn't stand. If I stood for any period of time, my oxygen levels would go down. And so I had to sit on a stool, had to put the oxygen tank on a stool next to me, and a line or two at a time, record the third part on an entire album. I'll never, ever forget that. And I look back on it today, and then when I hear it played on the radio, I'll immediately, whatever's going on right there in my life at that time stops, and I go back, and I see myself in that studio doing that, and thank the Lord for him bringing me out literally of death's door to be able to come back and to sing and to work and to do things for him. I'm immensely, immensely thankful.
And we are too. We love Chronicle. We love Les Butler, and you as a team. This is unstoppable. Let's play it. We love it. Here's Chronicle. He has a way of turning the tide. Listen for Mr. Les Butler in there.
Jesus told his disciples to cross to the other side, but a storm was raging, and in the dark of night they were taking on water, tossed to and fro. The shore must have seemed like such a long way to go.
They were about to go under. They were weary and so afraid. They didn't know that their Savior was on his way, till Jesus came walking up on the sea. Yes, they perfect peace.
He has a way of turning the tide. Jesus still speaks to the wind and the waves on the waters of life. Keep holding on, it won't be long, 'cause in his perfect time, he has a way of turning the tide. So maybe you're facing times of uncertainty, and it feels like you're drowning somewhere out in the deep. But child, just remember that Jesus' word, oh, he has the power to move heaven and earth. He has a way of turning the tide. Jesus still speaks to the wind and the waves on the waters of life. Keep holding on, it won't be long, 'cause in his perfect time, he has a way of turning the tide. So keep holding on, it won't be long, 'cause in his perfect time, he has a way of turning the tide. If you just wait on him, he'll turn the tide.
Well, there's hardly been a day go by in the last, I'd say, several months, 3 months probably of my life that I haven't stopped and listened to this song at some point during the day. It's
Amen.
special. It's a special song. I know you don't have
Amen.
much more time, Mr. Butler. I just want to mention one more thing before we go and end out
Okay.
with one more song. You are the founder and a major part in a quartet that we have played on the morning show, and I know a lot of our listeners are familiar with, and I want to point that out. The Old Time Preachers Quartet, founded by Mr. Les Butler right here, co-founded by Mike Holcomb. People are going to know that name. He's the longtime bass singer of the Inspirations. Tim Owens on the tenor. Is Tim still there? I mean, now you tell me if I
He is.
have this right. And then
Yeah.
Adam Borden, is he on the lead? He's the lead singer,
That's
guitar
right.
player. All
That's
right, so
right.
we've still got
That's
the
right.
same people. Look, this group has had a lot of success. It goes back to the traditional roots of Southern gospel music too. Voted Diamond Award Sunrise Group of the Year in 2017. Tell me, if you've got just a few seconds, just tell me a little bit about
Yeah.
this quartet that you founded.
Well, how it started was I really think the Lord was impressing me to get preachers who could also sing, and to make a group out of that and take that as a group that could go in, not do concerts necessarily, although we do concerts and we've done them and we will continue to do them. I mean, we've done, Blue Gate Theater and Dollywood, and go on and on. So we do that kind of stuff. But the purpose of putting these preachers together to sing was to go into churches and be able to do evangelistic meetings where one of us will preach at night and the group sing each night. And then the next night, one of the other members preach and the group sings. And the next night, one of the members preach and the group sings. And so that was the purpose. That was the reason for it. And we did that. I mean, sure enough, that is in fact what the Lord was putting together. And boy, it was wonderful since we started in late 2016. We are still going today. There's been a tweak in this past year. Mike is extremely busy preaching every night. And finally, he just had to choose one of the two. And so he chose the right thing. He chose to preach, which is truly his calling. And so he's preaching now. So now we are a trio, and it's with those same three members that you're talking about. We've been together now for whatever it is, 6 or 7 years. And we go and do what we've been doing the whole time. We'll go and sing, we'll go and preach, we'll preach and sing. We go anywhere where the Lord opens a door. When we go and work for churches, we don't charge anything. We just show up. And if they take an offering, they do. And if they don't, the Lord takes care of it. And we go on down the road. We don't even worry about it. And he's honored that. He's blessed that. And so we're going to continue doing that. So we are still together. We are no longer a quartet. We are a trio, except for very special select dates. And we are doing fewer dates in 2022, but we are still going. We're still sending music to radio. Maybe go to oldtimepreachersquartet.com and they can check our concert dates and church services and all that right there, the schedule. Feel free to do that. I probably need to update it, but you can certainly see where we're going to be in at least most of the dates for this year. And we'd love for people to come out and join us.
Go check out the Old Time Preachers Quartet if you want some good preaching or some good singing at your church. If you could use these folks in any way, well, look up Les Butler. He's on Facebook. He's on social media. He's not hard to find. If you want to get up with him and can't find him, well, just find me and I can get you in touch with Les Butler. Mr. Butler, we're going to end out with that song by the Old Time Preachers Quartet that I love. It's called I'll Ride This Ship to the Shore. But before we do, I want to thank you for spending this time with us on the morning show. It's our honor to have you as our guest this morning. I appreciate it.
Natalie, you've been way too kind to me, and I appreciate that. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for playing not only my music personally and my group's music, but the music of so many of the artists that I produce. And I'm a blessed man to be able to work with these folks, and very blessed that folks like you would want to play it. Can I mention one other thing real quick?
Absolutely.
I host a show on Facebook and on YouTube every week. Now it's not always on Tuesday nights, but most of the time it is on Tuesday nights.
Okay.
And it's called Live with Les, Southern Gospel Music, Memorabilia, Memories, and Ministry. Wow. And I like to invite anybody to watch that on Facebook and YouTube. And if you can't catch it live, it is archived there on the Live with Les Facebook page. So when you go to facebook.com, type in Live with Les Butler, and it's on that page. And if you'll like that page, you'll get a prompt every time I'm on doing a show. And no telling what'll happen. Sometimes I have guests literally live in the studio with me. We've done live singing before. Man, I've preached before. I mean, I just let the Lord lead me in that program. And I'd love to have your folks who, if it was a morning show, I wouldn't invite them to come and see me because I want them to listen to you, because you're playing a lot of our music. So well, you're very important.
Well, we can all share.
But since it's not in the mornings, it's always in the evenings. I would like to invite them to my Live with Les show.
Well, we're going to start watching, Mr. Les. We're going to watch that. And I've listened to your radio show before just to tune in because I wanted to hear you. And every time I listen to it, I listen to you on there and I think to myself, one day I'll sound like Les Butler. I probably won't ever sound like Les Butler, but hey, I'll dream big, right?
Oh, you're too kind, Natalie. Thank you.
You've got a friend here on the morning show. We appreciate you.
Blessings.
All right, we're ending out this segment right here with the Old Time Preachers Quartet and our friend Les Butler. Ride this ship to the shore. Thank you, Mr. Butler.
Some say that you don't have to mention the blood. That's just too old-fashioned anymore. Well, they got here too late. I'm already on board, and I'll ride this ship to the shore. I'm riding this old ship of Zion. So many before me rode it safely o'er. Jesus the captain has lost not one, so I'll ride this ship to the shore. makes today a washing from that crimson flow. Confessions at Calvary cleanse every sin stain and makes one whiter than snow. I'm riding this old ship of Zion. So many before me rode it safely o'er. Jesus the captain has lost no, not one, so I'll ride this ship to the shore. I'm riding this old ship of Zion. So many before me rode it safely o'er. Jesus the captain has lost no, not one, so I'll ride this ship to the shore. Well, Jesus the captain has lost no, not one, so I'll ride this ship to the shore. I'll ride this ship